So what I'm going to do is basically walk you through the exact process that I use to rebuild my body, build muscle, lose fat, and then actually maintain that physique over the last year or two. So let's get into it. So this is me at the beginning. I don't know, I must have been like 14, 15, or I don't even know, maybe even 13. I don't actually know, to be fair. This on the beach in Spain, I was the skinniest kid around. Literally, as you can see here, skin and bones. Don't even know if I could do a press up back then. All I remember was that I was in college, and it was the first time I've been into a gym, and it was a class where, because I was doing like a sports kind of thing. I forgot the actual college degree. What was it? It was gone over my head. Anyway, so basically, we had to go into the class. Let's do a bench press competition. I was the weakest guy in the class. There was 3 girls in there, and I was even weaker than them. And I just about did the barbell. Couldn't even put 1.25 kilo plates either side. I was rattling. It felt foreign. I was fucking embarrassed. And I was like, shit, like this needs to change, right? So, weakest guy, super, super skinny, didn't like my body, obviously very young as well, had little confidence in myself and obviously how I looked as well. So that was the beginning. That's what kind of got me started. That's what got me kick-started into thinking I need to do something about this at a very young age, right? So what I started doing, because I was weak, is I started powerlifting. I was like, right, I need to get strong. I'm going to get into the gym, research a load of stuff about powerlifting. That's just what I did, right? Squat, bench press, deadlifts. I pretty much focused on those for the first year or two, and I actually got really strong. I wish I had pictures, because it was on my old Samsung phone, and such a long time ago now, that it's like 13 years ago, so I literally don't have those pictures, which is annoying. But I was bigger than I am now. I'm not even massive now, right? But like, I was bigger than I am now. I was way stronger than I am now. Added loads of muscle tissue, started filling out t-shirts, also relatively leanish at the same time, and felt incredible. My confidence went up, just felt amazing. And it happened so, not quickly, but within only 2 to 3 years, I was able to do that. Going from not being able to bench press anything, then I literally remember the first time I bench pressed 100 kilos for 4 reps, and it was wild. That feeling was like the best feeling I'd ever had when it comes to just like my fitness and health. Didn't track any calories at the time, just literally just shoveled down loads of protein, loads of carbs, loads of food. Had no real understanding or guidance on what to do, so I just did that. Luckily gained some weight, but I would still be drinking every weekend, right? I was young, so I was partying, eating shit, binging, doing all these things that ultimately meant that I wasn't in great shape. I looked great, trust me. I felt great in the sense of like confidence. I didn't feel great, like my body was battered all the time from training 6 to 7 days a week and not giving my body a rest. But that's literally what got me started, and I got in great shape, and I was super, super proud of that. And that was like phase 1 for me, right? So at that stage, I must have probably got up to like 21, maybe 20, 22, went traveling around Asia after uni, after doing my sports science degree, spent like 8 months, 7, 8 months abroad, come back skinny fat, obviously just partying loads, not many gyms there that you can find, not eating actually enough protein, not eating enough food, snacking, all that sort of stuff, drinking. Obviously that led me to that position. Here's me by a pool in Bali, at a hostel. Everyone just got battered that night. I literally remember it perfectly. But that was a regular for 7 months, right? Just enjoying myself, didn't really care. Come back skinny fat. Then I was like, right, I need to get myself back in shape, right? Here's the issue. Once I come back from traveling, I was desperate. I started pushing really hard in my training again without even like building things up. Started getting injuries in my knees both my knees for the first time, like my tendons, my shoulders, especially my right one. I remember it literally went once. And I was in so much pain, and it never really kind of held up. I kept trying to push through it. Again, hating my body again. Not feeling confident in it for the first time since before I started training. T-shirts didn't feel good. Didn't feel good of having it off. Lost muscle mass, like I said. Lost loads and loads of strength. Gained a lot of body fat as well. And I knew something had to change, right? I was like, right, I'm in a position here where like I'm at square one. I'm at the start again. And I was like, I need to do something about this. I can't keep living like this again. I need to get myself back in shape. So that's where I've restarted. I literally just restarted everything. Kick-started everything. Like I said, I was literally starting from square one. So this was my plan. So the plan was, number 1, get lean. I just wanted to get myself in a good, lean foundation. Didn't care about how much muscle I had. Get myself lean, rehab my injuries. Then I wanted to build my strength back up, build up in muscle mass, build up in body weight, then cut back down and reveal all the hard work, and then repeat the process, which I basically do right now, right? So this was me like 3 years ago. Then I got really, really lean. Might have actually lost muscle tissue, to be fair. Not much, but like I didn't really have much at all. I've got a bit of a pump here, but still I look really, really slim, pretty skinny, and I was pretty shredded at the time. That was me in Dubai. That was like phase one, ticked off. And then I worked myself up to this here, which took a year and a little bit. Not a year and a half, but like almost a year and a half, basically. Built the muscle back, and now I'm in that process where I just repeat the process. I get bigger, I cut body fat, I get bigger, cut body fat. That's basically what I'm doing now. So this was my setup to basically get me there. Training 3 to 4 days a week. For the most part, it was 3. Only recently it's been 4 in the last like 6 months. At 30 to 45 minutes time. Don't need to be in the gym loads. Just simplified everything. I'm busy. I don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to be training 6-7 days a week like I used to before. Right. The goal, as always, get as strong as possible at the big compound lifts. That's like pressing movements for shoulders, for chest, pulling movements for back, hip hinging like RDLs, and then like knee flexion, so like squatting movements, leg presses, squats, all those sorts of things, right? Those, I still did bicep curls, I still did lateral raises, but I focused all my efforts into those big movements, and I got as strong as I possibly can for a very, very long time. Like for me, the biggest ones were like incline dumbbell press, flat dumbbell press, a shoulder press, pull-ups, pull-downs, single arm rows, RDLs, leg press. Like those are like the main things that I just pretty much haven't changed much for the last year and a half, and I'm just getting stronger and stronger and stronger at them for as long as possible. I never used to do cardio, never used to do it when I was younger, just did powerlifting, didn't really care. I've got older now, values have changed a bit more. I want to be as healthy as possible. I enjoy it as well. So I've got into running, I've got into biking, and I try and aim to do that 2 days per week at the moment, right? And then Steph, sorry, that's my brother. Steph's roughly around 8 to 12k, depending on the goal. So if I am losing body fat, 12, maybe more, probably around 12, 15. If I'm really, really pushing it, but for the most part, most of the year, I'm roughly around 8 to 10. Like I don't really count it. I just aim for that sort of 2 walks of 25, 30 minutes a day. That will do me. And then with nutrition, really, really simple. Track all year round, more precisely when I'm cutting. So what I mean by that is when I'm cutting, I'm bang on it, everything to the gram, everything gets weighed, everything gets tracked. I do not miss a beat. When I'm not cutting and I'm bulking, I'm a little bit more lax with it, and I'm not too as stressed with that. I can kind of eyeball a couple things here and there. As long as I'm gaining weight, I'm fine with that. And you know, like I don't want to be 100% on it year round in terms of that as well. But when I'm cutting, I'm 100% on it because I don't piss around. I want to get it done and treat it with the respect it deserves. And then 3 to 5 meals a day. Again, if I'm bulking, probably around 5. If I'm cutting, probably around 3 to 4. It all depends on the goal at the time. So I won't go into more detail on that. Here's how I set up my nutrition. And it doesn't change. Whether I'm cutting, whether I'm building muscle in performance phase, it's the same. The only difference is I might have more veg when I'm cutting down, and less carbs and less calories, and the opposite when I'm building up as well and having more fats as well. So Monday to Friday, even now, keep it the same. Literally pretty much the same breakfast every single day. Eggs on toast. Keep it really, really simple. Lunch, pretty much the same every day. It's either chicken, rice, and veg, or it's beef mince, rice, and veg. And sometimes I might have some wraps. It really is that simple, right? Keep it between those. Rotate them whenever I want. Never get bored. Change the seasonings, change the sauces. Easy. Measurements never really change. It just makes my life easy. And then when it gets to dinner, that's the only thing that might change. So one night I might have salmon and potatoes. The other night I might have steak and sweet potato. I don't know what that would be, but there's usually like 4 different dinners I'll have in the week, or 3, and that's where I might have a bit more flexibility. And then the other meal will be like a snack, and that snack will literally just be like protein powder with yogurt, Greek yogurt, berries, dark chocolate, honey, and stuff like that. And then my flexibility, so I'm literally like meal plan Monday to Friday. Weekends, pretty much meal plan for breakfast and lunch, unless I'm going out for those meals, which are quite rare. But then dinners, I usually go out for a meal on like a Friday or a Saturday, and then maybe like I'll cook something different on the Sunday evening, right? So that's pretty much it. And the key thing here is I don't have too much that's going crazy. It's very, very easy to follow. I enjoy it, and it means I can be consistent. Most people are too flexible and they can't be consistent. They don't really get results. This setup for me has been perfect. It may be the same for you, it might be slightly different, but I think for most people, you need that level of consistency all year round. You won't have to think about different recipes all the time. It's a ball ache, and it takes a lot of time and mental bandwidth that you probably just don't have. I focus on maximising fullness on my plate, especially if I'm losing body fat. I'm trying to make it feel like I'm not dieting. Maximise the plate, get as much food in there as possible for low calories, so I'm feeling full and it's easy to follow. When I get bored, I slightly change things. And like I said, for the weekends, I save some room for a meal out as well. That's my nutrition year round. Again, only difference is when I'm cutting, less calories. When I'm bulking or building, more calories. Easy as that. The mistakes that I made along the way, which I think are key to kind of cover, and this is the old way of doing things that I used to do things, right? Trying to follow what used to work when I was younger. If you're watching this, you're probably either close to 30 or in your 30s or early 40s. Those are typically the guys and the people that I work with. You used to be in a bit of better shape, but you was younger. You had more time in your hands, less responsibilities. Like me, going to the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week was an easy thing to do, and I could spend an hour or two in there if I wanted to. Now I don't have that luxury. Yes, I can probably get in the gym every day. One, I don't want to, but two, it wouldn't be for a lot of time. I'd rather spend 3 to 4 days a week, 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. That is enough for me. Treating the diet like a lifestyle and not a phase. So I used to just dip into it, dip my toes in, not 100% fully commit to it, and I wouldn't see the progress I want. Then I just kind of get bored, and then I give up, and I would never get to my goal. Now I treat it like a phase. I get in, I set the goals, I get out, and I move on to the next thing. The next one was trying to hold on to my abs. So when I got really, really lean, I showed you in that phase one. I remember being in Barcelona for 5 weeks, and then a couple of months after, I was like, right, I'm really lean. I want to build muscle, but I was like, I've never been this lean before. And I got obsessed with that, and I was like, I don't want those abs to go, and that held me back. It meant that my energy was quite low. I was on super low calories. I wasn't progressing my muscle building. Felt pretty shit. Again, I felt good, but like because I did it for so long, I felt really shit, and it's not how I wanted to obviously be. So then the issue there was, again, I wasn't moving forward to my muscle building. So trying to hold on to it year round, abs, yes, but that level of leanness, close to 10%. For me personally, most people, no. I'd rather sit close to 15. That's where I kind of have most of my guys. Not letting myself have a social life. That made it really, really hard. When I was on that cut, I was all in. I wasn't having a drink out at the weekends. I wasn't having any meals out, and it got super, super boring, and it got tedious, and I just got frustrated and stressed of it. That wasn't a life I wanted to live, and it made the diet harder, actually. Having too much makes it harder. Having nothing at all makes it hard as well. You need a nice balance in between. And then I worried about every single calorie after the diet. That stressed me out even more than anything. Like, with the diet, yes, but after it, I wanted a bit more flexibility to just give me a bit more of a better headspace. So what I do differently is what I do a lot of my people now, and this is the new way. If I'm starting again at 30 or close to that, or deep into your 30s, this is how I would do it, right? Training 3 to 4 days a week. Perfect amount, 30 to 45 minutes. Everyone's got enough time to do that. It doesn't take over your life, and you can spend time with work, family, partners, hobbies, all the stuff you want to do. It's a really good balance there, and it's enough to build muscle. Focusing mainly on whole foods. So like having few options like I spoke about, keeping it really, really simple, but whole foods to keep the plate full, keep your belly full, and make it feel like you're not dieting, which is what I've written here. Eating as much food for the calories as you can. The goal isn't eat as little, it's eat as much as you can and as much calories as you can, so that you can lose as much weight as you can, not the opposite. It will backfire. That's how we do things in the program. Using cardio as a tool, so we do cardio with clients, we just don't get them doing loads, because like for me, as I said, you don't need loads. A good like minimal amount, the minimum effective dose of that is better, so it's less time commitment, but also it improves your health, improves your fitness, and obviously it helps with fat loss as well. Tracking everything is what we do. We track everything when we're dieting, but then when we're not dieting, once we've got you into a maintenance, or myself or a client with a maintenance phase or performance phase, we add more flexibility with the food, more enjoyment, and then we start to dial things down with the tracking a little bit. Or some clients come completely away from that and teach them how to keep it that way for life. And then also let myself have a meal out. I enjoy having a meal out, a Guinness every week, or even like a Moretti or a pint or whatever that is, a gin and tonic if it's the summer. I give myself that flexibility, whether I'm dieting, whether I'm not, so that mentally it just makes it easier to stick to the diet. That social life is important for me. It's important for my clients too. Completely eradicating it, you can try if you want, but in my personal opinion, you always do better with it in there and managing it the best you can. So that's pretty much it. Like, that is literally the process of how I've got to where I am now, from going from in shape to out of shape, from basically I'm from shit to fit again. And then the goal now for me, like I said, is to keep moving forwards, keep getting athletic, looking athletic, staying lean, building muscle tissue. I'm not looking to get massive, and don't care about that, never will. Maybe when I was younger, but I just want to be lean, athletic, look cool in and out of a t-shirt, feel confident, and show up as the best version of myself every single day. So hopefully that's given you some insight into me, a little bit more about me. And obviously, if you ever want to have a chat, just about the program or in general, just any advice you want with training, nutrition, health, fitness, drop me a message on Instagram. Links in the description. And I'll see you in the next video.